Late-stage capitalism is what many people agree that we are experiencing. Introduced and reintroduced over the past 200 years, it is the Marxist-Leninist term for what was envisioned as the height of capitalism just before the bubble bursts. What some people don't realize is that now in 2024, we are closer to the bubble popping than we were when it began in the 70s and 80s. Some people say we are crossing into a dark age. Some people say we are at a Renaissance age of rebirth. And so we are. I've heard and seen a lot of people talking about the stores changing out their stock early. It's mostly the people who are consumers who have that comment, producers, people who are actually the ones planning these events and putting them together, know very well that in order to have time to do what needs to be done before the holiday time comes, you need to be prepared. We have always needed the time to do things, but now it is being squeezed out and sold back to us as if it's a privilege and not a right. A store is just a giant stock room, not your house. The only thing weird about them is that most of them don't have windows or skylights. It's weirder to watch people wait until the very last second to shop and wonder why everything is gone than it is for a stock room to give you a month to prepare. The problem with how late-stage capitalism is usually discussed is that the wrong things are assigned blame. It makes sense for the people commenting on experiencing this social phenomenon in real time to be incorrect or shallow in their assumptions, but the truth in this is simpler than what it seems. I'm not going to blame the store for perhaps being tacky or impersonal. I'm going to ask why it is. The way we notice that we are moving away from a majoritively accepted norm into a late stage that comes before something gives is that we are given the illusion that we have the time, but we really don't. We have always needed the time to do things, but now it is being squeezed out and sold back to us as if it is a privilege and not a right. Things are coming in earlier and in more volume than they ever have. The majority still celebrates holidays, but there are vocal outliers who just can't anymore. Their relationship with hope, with what holidays mean to people, is tarnished. What can we do to rebuild this relationship with hope? Who do we picture as telling us that hope is lost? A second sign is the focus on the majority and calculated squeeze-in of the minority. Pride Month is such a shameless cash grab for quite a few companies, and in 2023 it was news that hate crimes at basic stores resulted in Pride merch either being pushed aside or taken down entirely. Day of the Dead got a lot of specialized merchandise in 2023, but Jewish people didn't get much for Hanukkah over the past 5 years. When it comes to issues that directly affect specific groups, there's usually mixed opinions. But is it wrong to say that Jewish creatives should be reached out to provide designs that introduce passerby in a general way to a culture that is dear and complex to them? Have we ever seen Kwanzaa sections at general stores? Barely any stores carried Juneteenth items as well, even though they should have anticipated the desire and reached out to Black creators. They've had years to do it now, too, at least since I remember Juneteenth becoming more common knowledge around 2020. At what point is selective inclusion going to stop being a corporate tool? Is this really something that these people are not considering? Is it purposeful in a profit sense? How should these places respond to threats made against people they chose to single out? The last sign is that we have to find these answers in order to progress past what we know as capitalism. We have to make our voices heard in a specific way so that the people whose job it is to iron out those fine details can get to flattening. This is a conversation to have offline and to see where people take it. We need to find the right answers and say them. Answers to solve this issue in an effortless manner do not exist except to make things worse. We grew up with an implied tradition that we are able to make memories with. That's a healthy version of culture. What makes culture culty is when people expect you to go along with something without explaining why, without giving real meaning to actions performed, and most confusing of all, making memories that are completely detached from the people you're supposed to be with. I've seen people who don't know any better tell themselves things are fine. Where children have been discouraged from independence, we see entitlement. If all you have to do for the holidays is show up, be thankful. If it feels natural for you not to try, consider if that's a reflection of trauma or even ingrained bad habits learned over time. Neglecting things isn't healthy. It's a signal that something is wrong. If you find your creativity stifled, maybe you should use it to create for others. Free time isn't always me time. And if someone puts everyone else in their life second, that's really sad. Sometimes you're supposed to say, my friend or partner might like seeing a movie instead of, I'm gonna see a movie and whoever wants to come can come. An unspoken effect of late-stage capitalism is unrelenting ingratitude and inconsideration towards others, whether it stems from a fear of rejection or something else. It doesn't really matter unless that knowledge motivates you to do better. It's free to make a nice memory for someone you care about. If you're finding yourself feeling the burnout effects of late-stage capitalism, such as the desire to give up hope, missing out on feeling happy by feeling detached, or wondering what the point of it all is, please take this as a sign to take a real second to look at yourself. It's what we do with our feelings that matter in this life. I trust that you're growing in ways that will help you with whatever feelings that you may have. I hope that you learn to respect who you are on the inside. How did people save themselves before capitalism?